Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to present the paper named Financial Literacy and Financial Capability. What is what? The paper is made by 5 authors: Andrea Lučić, Dajana Babrić, Nikola Erceg, Irena Palić, and Marija Uzelac. The paper is based on research undertaken in the frame of the project of the Croatian Science Foundation named Empowering Financial Capability of Young Consumers Through Education and Behavioral Intervention. The paper presents the review of empirical and theoretical studies in order to synthesize financial capability and financial literacy terminology. Conceptually and in terms of measurement instrument, financial capability and financial literacy are two different concepts. However, financial literacy and financial capability are at times used interchangeably, both referring to the ability to apply certain levels of financial knowledge and perform desirable financial behaviors to achieve financial well-being. Therefore, the paper includes systematical review of all available peer-reviewed literature in order to demonstrate overlaps as well as clear distinctions. Also, the paper includes in-depth analysis of the constructs in the published literature and critical examining the selected conceptual frameworks and definitions, similarities and discrepancies across them. The review will help both researchers and practitioners to navigate their future endeavors in order to build strong grounds for future novelty and advancement in the field and consistency in the research. Accordingly, the aim of the paper is to provide a critical summary and the overview of what is and what is not known in the field related to the terminology of financial literacy and capability. Even though the research and practice of financial literacy has been vastly growing in the past couple of years, it is left underdeveloped in the terms of clear theoretical, conceptual, and methodological terms. The paper aims to answer research question: how can we clarify the terminology and measurement of financial capability and financial literacy by going through key papers, methodologies, and variables of interest in existing literature. In order to answer the research question, the paper followed the research methods found in the review papers that are classified as theme-based, as is this one, and covered financial literacy and financial capability as an emerging concept emphasized by Bedi and Goel and Kumar. The paper includes relevant literature of the 20 years in WOC, Scopus, and Google Scholar databases, and reference list of papers. This search string for locating relevant studies incorporates the main nomenclature of the researched constructs, which means that at least one term of the two had to be included in the title, the abstract, or keywords of the article. In the context of sample composition, initially, the two classes separately generated over 2,500 papers and many institutional reports. Also, the paper includes peer-reviewed academic journal articles published in English and institutional reports such as OECD, Financial Service Authorities, and National Bureau of Economic Research, as they have published several reports of very high relevance. Also, the initial database search was performed on February 2nd in 2020. The search resulted in 182 papers for the string of financial capability and 2,344 for financial literacy. The decision-making process narrowed down the initial set of 70 for financial capability and 266 for financial literacy appropriate papers, and 21 institutional papers and reports. The financial list of papers in the sample consists of 357 papers. The following table presents the list of papers in the sample relative to the published journal for financial capability. On the other hand, the following table presents the list of papers in the sample relative to the published journal for financial literacy. It is noticeable how financial literacy is much more published than financial capability. In other words, it is noticeable how financial literacy as concept and as a term is much more investigated than financial capability and much more presented in journals. In the context of financial literacy and financial capability terminology, following the definition of most authors, financial literacy is often described as individuals' capability of managing money. Also, through the literature, financial literacy is conceptualized within two dimensions, financial knowledge and the application of financial knowledge, also known as skill in the efficient management of personal financial resources. Also, financial literacy is known as individuals' ability to obtain, understand, and evaluate the relevant information necessary to make decisions with an awareness of the likely financial consequences. Financial literacy has two dimensions, personal financial knowledge and personal finance application, where application implies ability and self-efficacy. Therefore, there is the case for both broader and narrower conceptualization of financial literacy. Broader definitions include a wide-ranging set of elements and still refer to it as a financial literacy, including cognitive, attitudinal, and behavioral elements. Financial literacy can be considered as a combination of awareness, knowledge, skill, attitude, and behavior necessary to make sound financial decisions and ultimately achieve individual financial well-being. Also, it refers to the ability to interpret, communicate, compute, develop independent judgments, and take actions resulting from those processes in order to thrive in our complex financial world. The broader consideration of financial literacy refers to it also as financial capability that is composed out of a skill combination of financial knowledge, attitudes, and behavior, basing it on the concept of behavioral measurements. Financial capability involves three dimensions: perceived financial capability, financial literacy, and financial behavior. Some authors define financial capability extremely broadly, conceptualizing it through the combination of financial education and opportunities, or intrinsic motivation and self-sufficiency. The greatest difference financial capability has over literacy is that it refers to one's knowledge and skills, but also opportunities, taking into account the individual's external environment as a relevant dimension to act on the knowledge one has, including access to financial resources. In the context of measuring, financial literacy is mainly measured in terms of knowledge about financial products, financial concepts, mathematical and numerical skills necessary for making financial decisions, as a measure of knowledge needed to become involved in certain activities such as financial planning. Also, it can be measured in three ways: objectively, subjectively, and through subject financial management ability. Previous research points to the fact that financial literacy is more than just a measure of knowledge or skills, and it reflects one's ability to apply the acquired knowledge and skills and perform certain tasks related to money, such as financial planning and financial decision-making. On the other hand, financial capability includes measures of financial behavior, confidence, and satisfaction, or even financial inclusion. Conceptualizing financial capability within the behavioral context solves the problems of the narrow focus on knowledge and skills exclusively. Financial capability encompasses behaviors and decisions about spending and saving, therefore offering insights into how knowledge influences actual behavior. Most studies include questions evaluating objective financial literacy, subjective financial literacy, financial behavior, financial capability, and self-efficacy. Some studies also examined the psychometric properties of measures. In the context of research limitations, the paper were not considered the conference papers, working papers, and published books, as well as unpublished papers. Also, the use of English-only papers, which means that other languages are not included. Also, the inclusion criteria was chosen by authors. However, it could be concluded how the field lacks clarity in definitions, accompanying metrics, and rigor in theoretical positioning. The systematic review plays a vital role in providing a critical summary and overview of what is and what is not known in the field for financial literacy and capability, and has the great value for practitioners, government officials, and other individuals operating in the field. The paper outlined numerous avenues to extend the existing body of knowledge for the field to become coherent and to generate effective solutions in the creation of individual financial well-being. The conceptual and methodological gaps suggest academics and practitioners should be oriented towards theory setting and multidisciplinary approach to the research. Thank you very much for your attention.